I'm here in a hidden pocket of Kew in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. What today looks nothing more than some grass, trees and a very noisy freeway was in fact once a quiet corner of this suburb, with houses, streets and even a river. What changed all this, of course, is the construction of the Eastern Freeway, which is just here in 1977. So we're going to have a bit of a look around to see what has changed. So here I'm standing in what is today Kate Campbell Reserve. This was actually a subdivision that was made in 1911. But as you can see, there are no houses here. You can just see these back fences right behind me. The reason for this is that in 1934 there was a massive flood of this entire area across most of Victoria. And I've covered that in a previous video. You can check it out here in the top right hand corner. So one of the results of that flood were new planning regulations designed to stop construction in areas that were prone to flooding. One of those, passed by Kew City Council in 1942, prohibited any new construction in areas that had been inundated in those 1934 floods. This subdivision here was one of those areas that was no longer able to be built on. And so today it's this nice little park with grass and trees, but you can actually still see the original subdivision boundaries if you look online on planning scheme maps. So where I'm standing now is in fact part of two streets that no longer exist. This sealed, driveway just behind me here was called River Avenue, and it was originally an unsealed goat track. Further along, just back here, was another street called River Avenue North, which went right out to the former course of the Yarra River. When the Eastern Freeway was built, the Yarra River's course was changed dramatically in order to make way for the freeway. Part of it involved straightening it out along what is the main Yarra Trail today. Previously, it had lots more bends and meanders in it, and River Avenue and River Avenue North both led to the banks. Today, this is all that's left of either of these streets, River Avenue North having been completely swallowed up by the freeway to the right over there, and River Avenue being turned into this driveway for the North Kew Tennis Club. Another fun fact for you while we're here, part of the reason why Kilby Road and Willesby Road are so wide is because a tram was actually planned down here in the 1920s. Today, the 200 and 207 bus routes form a fairly high-frequent corridor here, and these are the successors to what were then tramway buses, which were put in place after the tram was scrapped in the late 1930s. Here at Page Avenue on Kilby Road, you can see three interesting features. Kilby Road obviously has a median running down the middle, and there are three openings just in this area. They don't appear to serve any kind of function, but if you look across the freeway, which is just behind me here, you can just make out the ends of three other streets on the other side. These are Willow Grove, Elm Grove and Belford Road. And these, funnily enough, correspond to the exact locations of where these median openings are located. Willow Grove and Elm Grove today terminate just on the other side of the freeway, but they used to run all the way down to Kilby Road with these median openings to facilitate vehicle access. Belford Road is the only one of these three that is still connected across the bridge, which is still here today. Some other relics of the area that this used to be includes this stone wall, which is next to the bus stop at Page Avenue. It looks to me like this was part of the boundary fence for the golf course that used to extend all the way down here. The pine tree just behind me is another giveaway, and we'll see more when we get to the top of the hill. But these are also commonly planted around golf courses and other things to prevent branches and other debris from getting onto the fairway. I've also just found this small gap in the fence, which I'd never noticed before. And it does look like there's a bluestone curb here, or what looked like a bluestone curb originally. Now that I've thought about it a bit more, I think it might actually be an old step as a gap in the fence towards maybe a clubhouse or some other kind of building associated with the golf course. It's quite nice, and you can also see here some concrete or some old surface material here, which perhaps might have been part of a footpath. I doubt it was part of the road because the road's all the way over there. Regardless, it is kind of cool that it's still here, and you can also see some old concrete and bitumen just underneath too. You can actually still see here just behind me where the original Belford Road ended and the new bridge began. The bluestone curbing ends just here, and concrete continues all the way across the bridge. One other thing to note here was that the original Kew Golf Club clubhouse was located just here on the east side of the Belford Road Bridge. Obviously this had to be removed to make way for the freeway cutting, which is just here, and today the new clubhouse is on the other end of the bridge on the south side. This entire grass area behind me, as well as these pine trees here, were also part of the original Kew golf course. The fairways used to come right up to Kilby Road. Today, they obviously end on the other side of the freeway next to the main Yarra Trail. So that's all for today's video on North Kew. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you lived here or knew someone who lived here before the freeway was built. I really do love hearing from people who were actually there or know someone who was when I talk about historical events. I do look at the memories and stories that people share, and I always enjoy reading them. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.